Hello and welcome to your movement practice. Today we're going to work on part 2 out of 4 of our press to headstand compression series. And we'll begin on our backs. Feet are as wide as the mat or maybe wider. Arms are as wide as they need to be with the shoulder blades tucked under. We give ourselves a moment to arrive in our physical body and make that connection with our breath, our mind, and our body. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. And allow yourself to let go of any lingering thoughts you have about the day that has passed or anything yet to come in the future, and just focus on the breath and the present. Now begin to invite some movement back into your body by wiggling fingers and toes, rolling out wrists and ankles. Flutter the eyes open and bring the soles of the feet to firmly plant onto the mat. Feet are spaced about a hip width apart, hands to the hips, and we're just going to practice tucking the tailbone under and then finding that arch in the back as we roll the pelvis forward. Now we roll the pelvis back, feel the whole low back really press into the mat, and then roll the pelvis under and feel that arch in the spine. Tuck the pelvis under, and then roll the pelvis forward. 3 more times, really finding those two bones that you can feel on the pelvis as you roll backwards and forwards. Now find the center between those two extremes and then draw the navel to the spine. Feel that work in the core. Now extend the legs long. Drive the heels into the mat. Inhale, and on an exhale, we lift the head, neck, and shoulders just maybe a few inches above the ground. Really drawing navel to spine. Feel the core contract. Keep the legs active. Tuck the chin if it's a little bit hard on the neck. Now maybe you play with extending the arms overhead. Arms are as straight as you can get them. Tucking the core. Finding that work. Drawing navel to spine. Inhale. Exhale, lower everything down, including the arms. Inhale as you reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. Hover the left toes or the left heel just about an inch off the ground. Arms alongside the mat, palms face down. And you're just going to practice rolling the pelvis under you and then rolling it forward, tapping the heel onto the floor. Roll the pelvis under, feel the legs draw closer to the face. Then we exhale, let it go. Draw the legs up as you roll the pelvis under and then let it go. Keep going back and forth. And when you draw under, really try to bring the legs closer, not with the power of the legs, but through the rolling of the pelvis. This is 6, I think. 7, keep both legs active. 8, roll that pelvis. 9, 10, we're going to hold. Extend the arms up, and then lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Feel that rolling of the pelvis, but still reach. Gaze to the big toe. Inhale. Exhale, lower the head, neck, and shoulders on the left foot. And we just walk the fingertips up the right leg, finding a nice hamstring stretch. Keeping both feet flexed and active. Maybe bringing a micro bend into that right knee so you don't hyperextend. Maybe you can draw it a little bit closer. We inhale. And as we exhale, we let it go. Switch sides. This time, left heel and foot reaches high. Right heel hovers about an inch off the ground, and we tilt the pelvis and lower. Nice and slow and controlled. Keep going. Keep the navel tucked towards the spine. Feel the pelvis roll under you. 7, 8, 9, 10, we hold. Reach the arms up, and then lift the head, neck, and shoulders, keeping the pelvis tucked under. Gaze to the big toe. Inhale, reach up a little bit higher. And exhale, lower down, coming into that nice passive hamstring stretch. Walking the fingertips up the leg until you find your edge. Trying to keep the hips in line with each other, not letting the left hip hike up. Both feet are flexed. Gazes to the big toe. Feet are flexed back towards the face. Maybe you micro bend that knee. 2 more breaths. Inhale now, both of the feet reach towards the ceiling. And exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest and rock up and down the spine a few times until you find the momentum to roll over on the knees and make your way into tabletop. When you're in tabletop, finding that neutral spine, sucking the navel towards the spine, keeping the arms as straight up as possible, and we're just going to dip the chest down, feeling the scapula draw together. And as we exhale, we push the scapula apart, pushing the ground away with the hands, feeling the scapula or the shoulder blades pull away from each other. We lower down as we inhale. Exhale, push the shoulder blades apart. Inhale to lower. Exhale to push apart, nice and slow and controlled. 2 more. Tone the core. Last time. Now we make our way onto forearms. Really have an active drawing of the knees and elbows towards each other under the body. Tone the core, and we do the same thing. Inhale as we lower the chest, and exhale as we engage the scapula. 2. Nice, slow and controlled. Gaze is neutral. Core is toned. 3. 4. And 5. Exhale to push. Coming back up onto the hands. And this time we're going to go into our cat position. So pull the scapula apart. Now we're going to just hover the knees. Find that strong sucking in, I guess, action, or the strengthening action of the core. Pull the hands and knees towards each other. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees down. Slowly rise up, so you're kneeling. Hands come to the low back. Pull the shoulders together and the elbows together. Feel the lift in the chest. Inhale to puff the chest a little bit more. As you exhale, you just lean back, finding your edge. Dropping the head back if it feels good, but it can also just be left neutral. Inhale. Exhale to slowly come back up to kneeling. Lower down so you're on the tops of the feet. Plant the hands just in front of the knees. And as you inhale, you lift the knees off the ground and compress. 3. Push the ground away with the scapula. 2. Gaze is neutral. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees. Come into kneeling. You can be on the tops of the feet or on the toes if that feels better for your knees. Hands find the low back, draw the elbows together, feel the chest lift towards the ceiling. As you inhale, you puff, and as you exhale, you lean back. Engaging your core. Inhale to come all the way back up. Exhale to sit bum towards the heels. Plant the hands on the ground, and again, we find that lift, that compression. 3, 2, navel to spine, inhale. Exhale, lower. Come up to kneeling. Hands find the low back. Elbows drawn together, puff the chest as we inhale. Exhale, lean back. Inhale to puff. Exhale to lean back. Last time, inhale to puff. Exhale to lean back. Inhale brings you all the way back up. Bum to heels, plant the hands. We find that compression. On an inhale, we lift the knees up towards the chest, push the ground away with the hands, engage the scapula. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Last time, healing the body up. Hands find the low back. Draw the elbows together. Puff the chest. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale to lean back. Inhale, lift the chest up higher. Exhale to lean back. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale to come all the way back up. Bum to heels. Last time we compress. Hands on the ground. On an inhale, drive those thighs up towards the chest and we hold. 3, 2, inhale. Exhale, lower the knees. Roll up the wrists a little bit. Whew. Switch directions. And we plant the hands, send the hips back and high for our first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet when you get here. 3 more breaths. Inhale. And our last exhale. Inhale, come up high onto the toes, sink the hips back towards the heels, look forward. We're going to jump forward into your malasana, your yogi squat at the top of the mat, but you want to make the jump as slow and controlled as you can by leaning forward. Inhale here. Exhale, step, hop, or jump, preferably into your malasana. Hands come together at the chest. Push elbows into knees and knees into elbows. Maybe shift the weight side to side, opening the hips a little bit. And we lower the hips all the way down. And segmenting through the spine, round the back as you lean back, but reach the arms forward and slowly stack the vertebrae on top of each other as you lower the upper body down. When you get here, left leg straightens, right leg lifts toward the ceiling. We've been here. Hover the left heel. Find that tilting of the pelvis to bring the legs closer. And then we reach the arms up, head, neck, and shoulders lift off the ground. Suck navel to spine. Inhale. Exhale, lower and switch. Hover the right heel. Find that tucking in of the pelvis. And we lift. Inhale, exhale, lower everything down, soles of the feet find the ground, and we slowly begin to roll as best you can your way back up. Shimmy your way back into malasana. Plant the fingertips on the ground, and as you inhale, you send the hips up and high, finding your half lift, toes face forward. Fill your lungs as you inhale. As you exhale, heel toe the feet together and fold over the legs. Draw the navel up and curl in. Weight is mostly in the toes. Deep bend in the knee as you slowly roll up the spine. Arms sweep out to the side and up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, lower just the arms. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank and hold. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway and hold. Inhale, pull the chest through the arms. Exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. 3 more times that flow. Take 3 breaths here. Engage the shoulders by pushing the hands into the ground. Last breath. Inhale, come up high onto the toes, sink the hips toward the heels. Try your best to float forward under control, landing in your malasana. Hands come to heart center, lift the crown of the head high. Exhale, lower onto the bum. Soles of the feet find the mat. Reach forward, round the spine, and slowly stack the vertebrae on top of each other as you lower down. When you get there, right toes reach up towards the ceiling, toes flex back towards your face, left heel about an inch off the ground. Find that tilting of the pelvis first, and then we lift and hold. Maybe you can use the pelvis to draw the legs a little bit closer. Inhale. Exhale, lower and switch. Right heel's out of hover. Find that tilt and that lift. Try to draw them a little bit closer. Tuck belly button to spine. Inhale. Exhale, lower soles of the feet find the ground. Slowly make your way as best as you can up to malasana. Hands gather at heart center. Inhale. Exhale, plant tented fingertips on the ground. Inhale, lift the hips. Halfway point the toes forward, fill up the lungs. Exhale, heel toe the feet together, forward fold. Tuck in at the bottom, suck navel to spine. Deep bend in the knees. You slowly roll up to Hasta Uttanasana. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, lower just the arms. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Stretch the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank and hold. Find the work in the core. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway and we hold. Inhale, pull the chest through the arms. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1. 2. 3. Inhale, high on the toes, sink bum to heels, float forward to your malasana. Hands come to heart center, crown of the head and tailbone reach away from each other. Exhale, slowly lower onto the bum. Round out the spine, but reach the scapula forward as you slowly roll down the spine. Find the work in the legs, right foot first, lifting, left heel hovering. Tilt the pelvis, bring the legs closer, and then lift the arms up. Reach beyond the toes. Suck belly button to spine. Don't let your abdomen tent. Inhale. Exhale, lower and switch. Hover the right heel. Tuck the pelvis under. Don't let the abdomen tent. Reach. Inhale. Exhale, lower everything down. Soles of the feet find the ground. And we slowly begin to roll our way back up into Malasana. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, tented fingertips find the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Exhale, walk the feet together and we forward fold. Stay here for a moment. Weight is mostly in the toes. Belly button to spine. Really try to tilt the pelvis under you here. Inhale, bend the knees and roll up to stand. Arms reach out to the sides, up overhead, lift out of the waist, inhale. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, big reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank and hold. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway, hold. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, right leg back and high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose and hold. Look between the hands and straighten the knee as if you're going to step forward, but don't let yourself. Hold this position, find that compression. It's really hard. Keep holding. Inhale. Exhale, plant the foot between the hands, straighten the legs, and float the back leg up. Find that nice standing splits. The toes and the crown of the head reach away from each other. Now we plant the hands on the ground about a foot in front of the right foot, maybe 6 inches. We lift the back toes a little higher and we inhale. And as we exhale, we flex the foot, step it through, lean the weight into the hands, and hover the left toes. Inhale, bring the weight back as we find our standing splits. Exhale, sweep the toes forward, lean forward, and hover the left foot maybe an inch off the ground. Inhale, standing splits. Exhale, find that hover. Lean forward, weight is in the fingertips. Inhale, standing splits. Come up back onto those tented fingertips. Take a little bend into the right knee. Maybe you float the fingertips up together at heart center. Find your warrior 3. Don't let the back leg drop. Last inhale. And our last exhale. Just kidding, we have one more inhale. Exhale, slowly taking the left leg with you. Come up to stand and swing the left leg forward. Arms reach up overhead. Don't let your back do this and arch, but really try to find that same pelvic movement tilting under and really trying to suck the leg and the chest towards each other. Inhale. Exhale, lower everything down. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, and we hold. Inhale. We stay here, but we just come onto the forearms. Gaze is between the forearms, neck is long. Scapula is engaged. You're pulling the hands back. Inhale. Keep the arms as they are, and as you exhale, slowly lower just the hips onto the ground, coming up onto the tops of the feet and finding your cobra. Sphinx. Pulling the hands back towards you. Shoulders away from the ear. Pressing the pinky toe edges of the feet into the ground. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Hands alongside the ribs. Inhale. Draw the belly button away from the spine. Tuck the toes. And as you exhale, push up into plank. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3-legged dog on the left. Left toes sweep up and back behind you. Feel the work in the right hamstring and the left glute. Inhale to stretch out long. Exhale to bend the left knee, come forward knee to nose. Now we unbend the left knee a little bit and try to find that compression as we hover the left toes. Gaze between the fingers. Inhale. Exhale, plant the foot, straighten and float the back leg and find your half split or standing splits. Nice flat back. And now we plant the entirety of the palm on the hand. We inhale here, send the weight a little bit back into the heel. And as we exhale, we swing the right foot forward, place most of the weight in the hands, coming onto the toes, and then hovering the right foot. Inhale, send the weight back, standing splits. Exhale, come forward. Weight is in the toes and the hands. Float the right foot off the ground. Feel that compression. Last time, standing split. Exhale, come to hover. Inhale, standing splits. Take a little bend into that left knee. Maybe we get light on the fingertips and draw the hands toward heart center, finding our warrior 3. Belly button to spine. Inhale. As we exhale, we slowly come to stand, swinging the right foot forward and lifting the arms up. Finding that compression, this closing action instead of this opening action of the arms and the legs with the pelvis. Point the toe. Inhale. Exhale, lower everything down. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. We hold. Now we come onto the forearms and we hold. Dropping the hips, drawing the navel towards the spine. We inhale here. And as we exhale, we slowly lower just the hips onto the ground. Untuck the toes. Really grab the mat with the hands and draw the hands back towards the body. Internally rotate the legs a little bit by drawing the attention to the pinky toe edges of the feet and trying to plant those onto the ground. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Drag the hands back beside the ribs. Inhale to tuck the toes and draw the belly button away from the floor. And as you exhale, push yourself up into plank. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Look forward and come onto the hands and knees for a tabletop pose. Tripod headstand is always, I find, easiest. You can place a little pillow underneath the head, like we did in the first video, to make that a little bit more comfortable. And if you want to a little bit more of a challenge, forearm headstand I find is a lot harder. So these things you can do in either. I'll go tripod headstand. So you're going to place the head onto the ground and place the hands, the whole palm, to the outside of the pillow or the head and a little bit in front. We're going to come up onto the feet, hug the elbows in towards each other, and we're going to send one foot up and high. It doesn't matter. We're going to lean forward a little bit, shift the weight forward, and maybe try to hover those left toes. Maybe you can bend the knee and find that compression. Re-straighten into the left leg and then re-bend. One more time. Now keep the left toes at a hover and really slowly try to lower the right foot down to meet the left until both toes make contact with the ground and we send the hips back, finding a child's pose just briefly. Now we go to the other side, planting the hands just outside the head and a little bit in front. Coming up onto the feet, hugging the elbows in towards each other, engaging the scapula, lifting the left toes up. Maybe shifting the weight forward and finding that compression, drawing the right leg towards the face. We find a hover. Maybe you bend the knee. Find that compression, then you straighten. Feel the work in the arms, not the head. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Leave the toes at a hover if you can, but touch them to the ground if you can't, and then slowly lower the left foot to meet the right. Sink the hips back, find your child's pose. Inhale to roll all the way up to kneeling. Pillow can go to the side. And we swing the legs around. Legs zip together, toes flex back towards the face. Inhale first to lift up out of the waist. And as we exhale, we fold forward with a flat back, really drawing the belly button to the spine. When we find our edge, you can stay here or you can reach forward, find your toes. Legs are zipping together, hugging together. Heels are driving into the mat. Toes are flexed back towards the face. Engage the front of the legs, especially the front of the ankles. Inhale. Exhale, now we can round the spine, finding a little bit deeper of a bend. Toes are flexed back towards the face. Engaging the front of the ankles, lifting as if you're lifting the shins out of the ankles. As you inhale, we slowly roll up to sitting tall. And as you exhale, the legs go wide into your straddle split, driving the heels into the ground, toes flexed back towards the face. Find where you're comfortable first. Inhale. Exhale, walk the fingertips forward until you find a nice stretch in the hips and in the groin. Toes are always flexed back towards the face and pointing up towards the ceiling. Pulling the thighs away from the kneecaps by engaging the quads. Inhale to slowly walk your way up and out of the stretch. Soles of the feet find the mat. And we once again slowly roll down the spine, finding our way onto our backs. When you're there, soles of the feet face towards the ceiling, bent knees. You can either grab the inside of the knees, drawing the knees down, or the outside edges of the feet. You can find a gentle rock side to side if that feels good. Really trying to keep the glutes or the low back firmly planted on the ground. We inhale. As we exhale, we slowly release the grip we have on the feet. Extend the feet out to the front of the mat as wide as they need to be, and arms go out long. finding your way into Shavasana. Noticing the heart rate as it begins to slow. Bringing a little bit of awareness to the breath, maybe to guide it to being a better quality inhale and exhale. Really challenging the stretch of the lungs as you inhale, and that cinch of the waist as you exhale all the air out. Maybe breathing in so much air that you find a little bit of a pause at the top of the inhale. And same thing with the exhale, expelling all the air out of the lungs and finding that little bit of a pause. Bring some movement back into the fingers and toes. Wiggle wrists and ankles. And slowly bring yourself into a seated cross-legged position on your mat. Hands come to heart center, crown of the head and tailbone reach away from each other. Thank you so much for joining me on this hopefully short practice. I was aiming for 30 minutes. Hopefully it was 30 minutes. And I hope your core feels strong and your hamstrings feel a little bit open, and I hope you're a little bit closer to that float to headstand. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.